strange hair. Are we here? We're here. Yay. Took a little bit to get on today. I don't know what's happening. Yes, I do. Sure, I do. I do. I really do. Hi, Elaine Marolakos Edelson with Astrology Mojo. I want to help you get your mojo back. And so for those of us who are not familiar with astrology, here's what I say. This is my spiel. The planets in the universe don't do anything to you. We live in a cooperation with the cosmos so that when the planets make a move, you feel it. When you make a move, that is reflected by way of aspects and angles in astrology. So ultimately, you have power. Power to the people. Now I have a spot on my glasses and I got to get it off. Okay, there we go. Hey, who's here? I'm squinting now. Who's here? Hey, Casey's here. Elizabeth, Gallet. Mojo Monday. Thank you for that. It is Mojo Monday. I'm going to coin that phrase. Thank you, Gallet. Such a Gemini. I love it. In fact, we have, let's see, 2 Gemini risings and a Gemini right now showing up. This must be the Gemini faction. Catherine's here too. Also a Gemini. What's happening? Well, let me put my glasses on and I'll tell you. Oh, there you are. Okay. I am all fired up, okay? Fired up. Let me tell you, we're going to be talking about the YOD, not the backyard. Oh, when a boat is beautiful, they say it's yaw. Katharine Hepburn. Okay, I'm ready to go, ready to rock and roll. So, what we're talking about today in astrology, we've been talking about the Lionsgate portal, the 8-8. We're still in that vibe, still feeling it, still working it. Now we're going to be talking about the YOD. And the YOD is the 10th Hebrew letter. And it represents being able to take the power of spirit and make matter. What's the matter? You're the matter. That's what the matter is. What do you want to do about it? That's the question. Okay, so I'm so excited. We have so many things to talk about. So let me just go in order, right? That's the wisdom of things. That's your business, is to go in order. So first, let me just talk about some of the planets in astrology. Very simple. It sounds like a segue to something else and random, but it is not, I assure you. Did a lot of planning on this morning. And, in fact, I have visual aid. Wait. Let me show you inner outer planets. There it is. Boop. Okay. So in astrology, the inner planets are Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. The outer planets, and those are the more personal planets, you might say in astrology, you feel them better because they have a faster rotation time around the sun called the ecliptic. And not getting too technical here. Now the outer planets, I had to add to this photo, I had to add Pluto because it's not considered a planet anymore. But in astrological terms, it really is. And it's in debate now whether the science community is going to reinstate it as a planet. Anyway, another conversation. But the outer planets are Jupiter, Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, and Pluto. And the outer planets are considered non-personal planets, meaning you don't feel them as deeply, or your relationship to what they represent, because remember, they're not doing anything to you, but what they represent is more generational. It's more expansive on the global plane. When those planets go retrograde, however, it becomes personal. Okay, so that's the astrology lesson for today. Well, kind of. So let me just get rid of that. Okay. Now, I'm just silly riding a high. Let's see, what's the screenshot today? Oh, there it is, the YOD. The YOD is when, and it's not a common event. You might be born with a YOD, or you might just experience it now like we are August 7th, 2020 through the morning of August or early afternoon, depending on where you live in the world. August 17th, 2020, there is a YOD in the sky, and it makes me want to talk like I'm from Boston. Park the car, Bonnie. We have a YOD. Okay, so if you can see, it looks like what's also called, the 10th letter of the Hebrew alphabet. But it is also called the finger of fate, the finger of God, or the witch's hat. Okay, so you could take on any one of those. I just call it a YOD because, of what the other titles produce in you. If you don't believe in witchcraft, like a witch's hat doesn't mean anything. If you, like me, don't res with the word God, pure conscious love, absolutely, but God connotes or denotes something masculine outside of you. Yeah, the old definition. So I like YOD, that's it. And this YOD consists of two inconjuncts, and those are 150 degrees from because I'm backwards here, so 150 degrees to the sun and Jupiter, and then eventually 150 degrees to Pluto in Capricorn. So Leo, the sun is in Leo. This is August 17th calendar. But this is basically what it's going to look like for the next 7 days, another week. And then we involve the sextile, which is 60 degrees, and it's a more congenial vibe. The sextile represents more ease of flow, harmony, and the inconjunct. Oh, and that is to Neptune in the sign, a natural placement of Pisces, because Neptune guides Pisces. Okay, so what are we looking at here with this finger pointing? Weren't you ever told that it's impolite to point your finger? I was. But the universe doesn't care because it's showing you where you personally, with these retrogrades, where you feel powerless. Where do you feel powerless in your life? That's what I want to know. Hey, Amy's here. Gemini Intense Energy. Christine, caught you live. Hey, Kate's here as well. Yay, I'm so happy. And some of you, I know, are watching, but yet don't comment. Come, say hello. Send a little happy note. Let me know that you're here. If you're watching this and you like my videos, my dog is trapped in my office and she can't get out. Hey, Dean, the dog is scratching on the door, honey. Thank you. Okay, so what's happening when I talk about stuff is the momentum builds, right? So I've made a commitment to go big or go home, and I'm not going home yet. So I want to go bigger. So if you would share, if you would comment, share with your buddies and pals, let other people know that I'm here, what we're talking about, your empowerment, your negotiation of life on a daily basis. Rhonda's here. Deanna, yes, we're doing well. Hey, Jody, Vicky, great. Keep showing up. Let me know that you're here because Facebook likes when people comment. They have logarithms. Yeah, we're not doing math today. It's not my superpower. Okay. I've been singing Power to the People. Our kid's in Chicago with a boyfriend, and they're having riots now. Yeah. And it's a whole circle of confusion of what people think it's about because what the focus is, and the YOD coming full circle, like on the chart here. The YOD points the way. The YOD points the way to, you. That's right, you. You have power. So where do you feel powerless? And not just, I dropped a thing, I lost my keys, I misplaced my credit card. I'm talking about a consistent feeling of lack of empowerment. That's what we're looking at. And what this energy represents is, let's break it down a little at a time astrologically. The sun is the focus. The sun in Leo is a very courageous, magnanimous focus. Very let's get going. What are we going to do? I'm excited. What can we do? And then the inconjunct, the 150 degrees to Jupiter, Actually, it will be in 2 days from now. Today's the 10th, 11th, 12th. So tomorrow, 11th and 12th, it will be actually the same degree. The sun will be 19 degrees of Leo, and it will, 18 degrees of Leo, and it will exactly conjunct Jupiter. So when there's an exact, not conjunct, when there's an exact degree involved, we're looking at the number, what the number represents, and also what the planets represent. So the sun in Leo wants to get going. I'm excited. Let's just do it. Why is there a problem? And if you're faced with someone who is controlling or someone who is a little narcissistic, then this is going to be a problem. This is where the finger points to you and says, you have power to say no to that, to draw a boundary to that. How can you utilize your power? So now we come to Jupiter. Jupiter is all about expansion. Jupiter represents your ability to learn, to read, to travel. Well, if you're stifled with travel right now, we all get it. It's a weird time. But you can travel to new heights through meditation, through the internet. You can travel to new worlds through video, through any kind of publication, through learning, science, technology, the law, about different cultures, right? How do they do it over there? How does Finland do it? How do those people deal with taxes? How do they do it? Let me talk to somebody and actually get involved in my own learning experience and my education, because now that's what the empowerment is about, folks. It's not a random thing, as I've said before. If we had, and no, it is not a punishment. This virus is not a punishment. We had this pandemic in 1918. Dean's reading a fascinating book, which I'm going to read next, and then I'll tell you all about it, unless you've read it. And it's about what now they're calling the flu. Back then, no, it was the same thing. It was the same event that happened, a pandemic that threw people off axis big time. But anyway, because coming back to center, because I don't want to get too lost. What the whole situation is with a YOD is, if you are ready to get going with something, okay, it may not be ready. It may not be ready for you. The timing may not be appropriate. The door is not fully open, just like my dog who tried to get out of my office and was like, the intention is there. The momentum is there, but maybe there's something that's slowing you down. Well, let's look here. What Jupiter is in the sign of Capricorn. Capricorn is a very stoic, ambitious, yes, represents your ability to create something of value over time, to build, to grow, to climb that mountain. Climb every mountain. And my powder didn't, I have to stir it. And to take that sense of authority, like, I know what I'm talking about. Why am I having such trouble getting it out into the world? I know what I've written. I know what I've said. I know what I believe. I know what we can do to fix something. How come it's so hard right now? So if you're feeling that, that's the inconjunct, the 150 degrees between these planets. But at the same time, we have inspiration. And that's what Neptune represents, your ideal vision, your karmic destiny, because of your karmic past. And karma is everything, basically. It's what you think, say, do, don't think, don't say, don't do. All the things that bring you to the point of now. Because what time is it? It's now. Wait a minute, hang on. No, now. Now. So when you're in the now, and you think about, what's my ideal vision? What's my dream? I want to make my dream come true. Again, we've got an inconjunct to the sun. I'm sorry if I'm backwards. Let me use my Harry Potter pointer, because there we go. That's easier. So you see the inconjunct symbol. There's another one. Now, by the time we reach the midway point, the sun is now inconjunct with, that's not working either. Okay. just going back to my finger, to Pluto. Pluto is TNT for the psyche, the core of your unconscious, non-conscious, subconscious shore, the shoreline, where stuff gets washed up on shore and you go, oh, wow, I had a dream about that once. Or I remember that issue, that person, that thing, that part of me. What that is true power. What Pluto represents is reach for the sky. You are a strange, sad little man. No, Toy Story. It represents this ability that you have to open to what's possible, even though everything around you is saying, yeah, that's not gonna work. How are you gonna do that? That's not possible. How will that happen? That's not possible. I'm fighting right now not to sing. It's possible for a strange yellow pumpkin to become no. It is possible, but we have to look at the timing of things. So before you freak out, stay hyped, stay psyched, stay ready to enact, create, edit, produce. Go in now, because these outer planets, Jupiter, Pluto, it won't actually make the YOD with the Saturn, but Saturn is there. Like you can't not notice the vibe. And the vibe is you saying, we need to be very practical about this now. I don't know how I feel about it. Let me think. Yeah. Let me think some more. Wait a minute. I'm not done thinking about it yet. But Jupiter's saying, well, okay, but we're all going to go in, because you see all the little red X's? That's a retrograde. So we're in a retrograde season now with these planets. And these planets represent, just like a retrograde represents, the part of you that is ready to access your bigger power. So you're learning something now. What are you learning? Casey said she was learning Italian. I'm learning again how to play piano, because it's been sitting in my office for many years, and I took lessons long ago, and I love the piano. I so much love the piano that all I did yesterday for 10 minutes was play scales, because that's all I know right now. But I love the feeling when I hear piano, when I'm touching the keys, and I know I can play. Something tells me I've already learned it in some other lifetime, and I'm just waiting for the rest of me to catch up. That's the inconjunct. That's the, wait a second, if I already know it, how come I'm not doing it? Well, maybe it takes a little more remembering, practicing, engagement, thought, focus, communication. Because with the sun in Leo, you're revved. Let's go. Let's do it. Come on. Let's go on a picnic. Okay. Yeah, then you have to think, oh, wait, how many people are going to be there? Do I bring a mask? How do I eat lunch with a mask? Oh my gosh, I might as well just stay home. So then you're pulled back to the delay. You're pulled back to, wait, something's not cohesive. Something's not jiving with this. You like my singing? Amy says. I'm so silly. Catherine says. Okay. I am those things, and I own it. You know, with the sun in Leo, you got to own who you are. And if who you are is incongruent with how you act, oh, that's the first place that finger gets pointed. Look what you're doing. Look what you're saying. They don't make sense. Yeah, I'm really happy. Incongruent, right? Or, yeah, everything's great. Fantastic. Incongruent. So you want to look for where that thing in you is not vibing with what's forming. What are you manifesting right now? What are you making? What are you making? And I don't mean breakfast. I'm making tea. No, I mean, what is it that you're wanting to promote, produce, create in this world? You're a co-creator. What are you making? And form follows thought. Okay? It's been said for thousands of years. I am not the first to say any of this stuff. Form follows thought. As a man or a woman or they, gender non-specific, thinketh, thoughts become things. As you think it, avracadabra. I create as I speak. That's an ancient Hebrew phrase. Yeah. It's not abracadabra unless you're watching Harry Potter and then I'm watching it with you. Christine says, I decided this morning to only do things that bring me joy today. Great. Joy? Where are you? Where is she? Is she hiding? Joy. I love that. I love that. And if something does not bring you joy, even though you're focused on joy, if something does, thank you for the point. I'm going to take that as a jumping off point as I deep dive into what if something comes along in your joyful day and does not bring you joy, and you get so frustrated because you were just so happy and you ruined it. That ruined it. Hey, quit it. Okay, then you have to make a decision. Feel your feelings. Yes. Act on negative feelings? No, unless you are in harm's way. If someone is throwing banana peels at your face or rocks at your head, you duck. You get out of the way. You call the police. You do something that protects yourself, okay? But if we're talking about you being you in a conscious, co-creative kind of way, that's what this sounded like to me, conscious, co-creative kind of way, then what I want you to think about and perhaps act on is, hey, I look lumpy today. I went to bed with a wet head. That's what it gets me. I want you to think about your reaction, because this retrograde business down here, okay, with Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, your reaction is ripe for expression. So you may have an immediate reaction to something like, hey, or what the? Then you take a deep breath and you go, wow, that's the old me. That's what I would have done years ago, the way you're thinking. You know, I'm going to blow that up. I'm going to smash glass. I'm going to run away. I'm going to get drunk or high. Or I'm going to chain smoke. Or I'm going to negate the joy. Yeah. So, but when that comes up, it's actually a very big blessing, because it's showing you that there's parts of you that need an expression that you've been squelching. I'm just going to keep doing hand movements until I actually learn how to sign. That's one thing I know. Does that make sense? So, you know, there's going to be there's an undercurrent. The sextile represents the harmonious thing, this 60 degrees right here, the blue. That's harmonious. Hey, that feels nice. Hey, let's watch a movie. Oh my gosh. Sometimes I'll get into a mood where I need to see stuff blow up. You know, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter. I need magic. I need fantasy. I need Avatar. I need reconciliation with something. And then other times I want, Sense and Sensibility, Mansfield Park. I'm not that crazy about Emma, the story itself, because I just think, she's spoiled and it's annoying. And then I want to see something blow up. So you have to know what gives you joy, right? But also know when you're not feeling joy, or when something throws you off axis, what you can do. What you can do in the interim, in the meantime, in the inasmuch, heretofore. Who came up with those words? There's too many letters. What I'd like you to do, and we're going to talk about this on Thursday again, this inconjunct, this YOD, It's so when you are ready to engage something that you love, because if you don't love it, okay, there are things we do that we don't love that need to get done. You need to take care of your body. You need to cook or at least eat. You need to clean yourself, the house, your clothes. These are perfunctory, obligatory, it just goes with the territory of being a person, living in a world with other people. Now, some people don't abide by that, and that's why they live out on a farm and, or in a barn. Hi, Kate. You're amazed that I know the lyrics of so many songs. I don't know who sings them half the time. I just belt out the lyrics. And Dean will go, hey, that was Robbie Roberts in the, and I'm like, really? Okay. So I don't remember that, but thank you. Okay. So getting back to, this powerful YOD, make use of it, because we're still in the 8-8 Lion's Gate, the Lion Gate, and Sirius, it says there is, makes me delirious. The star, it's like a blue sun. So the blue sun complements our yellow sun. So blue is calming. Blue is fluid. Blue can be very inspirational as well in color therapy. Yellow, our sun, is, get up. Let's do it. So now, if you find a delay in something that you're doing, you're like, oh, it's all right. And you're cool with it, great. You're there. But don't stop focusing on the thing that you want to accomplish. Because you might get sidetracked in the next week on top of this 8-8 portal. And what it's telling you is that there's some information coming. There's a healing about to happen for you or the group that you're with, or the product that you're creating, or the song that you're writing, or the people that you're supposed to be working with. There's a healing, and you don't see it because the seed is just starting. Make sense? Catching you live is part of my job. Well, thank you. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. I really do. Thank you. So what else are we looking at? Well, with this YOD, does this make sense? With the portal open, the veils between worlds are thinner. You might feel so much more empowered, excited, frustrated, anxious, eager. Or it might be that I got to do something and I don't know what, and it's making me frustrated, or I don't know who I am. I had a very long conversation with someone the other day who is like, I'm doing what I'm doing and I'm making money, but it's not what I want to be doing. And I said, well, okay, that's the interim, because the money that you're making now with something you like to do, it's not your ultimate thing, right? Something you like to do is going to get you to the next place. That's just progression. That's just process. That's just how we do it here. This is how we do it, right? So if you are ready to go to the next step, but the next step is not ready because it hasn't formed and you can't go and you're stepping and there's nothing there, and you have to step back, retrograde. Let me move my mouse. It's getting in my way. Retrograde. And the retrogrades are there to remind you that there's a part of you that still believes in struggle, that there's a part of you that still believes in resistance. It is futile. You will be assimilated. And that assimilation is the ascension process. And the ascension process is not, some people have called it the rapture. I'm going to die and go. Woo! See ya. And maybe for them they will. But it's more about being in your body and ascending in here. Some people will be leaving. And we thank them for being here. And we're sad when they go. And we don't understand why. even if they were ill or sick or part of this pandemic, and we don't want that. But it's not always about what we want. It's about what we're ready for. And it's about what we need to focus on instead. Because you have power, and igniting your power in a YOD with the 8-8 portal means own it. Own it. If you're impatient with someone, own it, then stop it. And say, I was you yesterday, I am you today, or I will be you tomorrow. Let me just calm down. If you keep reaching for people who don't respond, stop that. Stop. Own it. You're needing something that they won't give you, and you're picking people who won't give. Stop it. If you're trying to make money and you're feeling stuck, it is, again, a weird time, right? But a weird time can be a fun time, an exploratory time, a time where you decide, well, wait a minute, I'm waiting for that to change so I can feel empowered. That might happen once every, 1,000 days, years. So I think it's great that you're hopeful, but now you got to turn it in and look inside. That's what the retrogrades are for. So turn it in. What do you want to write, sing, produce, dance? What do you want to discover? What do you want to heal? That's a Pluto thing too. What is your idea of death and rebirth? And that can be, I just lost my job. Now I gotta start over. I gotta take my talents. And then here comes the limitations. Saturn says, you're whatever age. They're not going to hire you. They're going to hire somebody younger. How do you know that? You are making that a reality. And if you make that a reality, that is your reality. And that's the trap. Do you get that? That's the trap where you tell yourself it can't happen because they couldn't do it. What makes you so different? I could tell you what makes you different. You. That's it. You make you different. But that doesn't sound like good English. You make you different, and I come to your country. And we can be different together. Liana says, a new me. Yay! Girl. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. So you have the ability to be whatever you want to be and do whatever you want to do. But sometimes in the material world, living in the material, you got to wait until things line up. So, but does that mean, oh, it didn't work, I got to stop. I tried it once, it didn't work. I'm so discouraged. I have been there so many times. And the thing is, where are you putting your focus? No one ever just thinks of one thing. That's it. I'm just going to turn down the dial that says, think of 4 million things in a second. Like, I am so hooked on Indian Matchmaker. I love that show. Okay, I've binged it for a day. And then wait, I was on my way to go do something else. And then I thought of the show and that took me to the next place. And then I was in the kitchen like, oh, I could go for some Indian food right now. And then that took me to, oh, I have to go to the store because I don't have all the right ingredients. And then that took me to, oh, I should bring my mask. And then that took me to, I should check in on that person because they're elderly. And shh, be still. Just do one thing as best you can in as many moments as you can. That takes you to that next place of feeling happy, feeling joyful, feeling the vibration of the frequency of abundance, right? So it lifts you out of the pit. And again, I go back to this so many times. What is the moment you go from crappy to happy? From crappy to happy.com. I bet you that site is taken. Hey, Dean, we should check from crappy to happy. I think I want that site. Dean, crappytohappy.com. See if it exists. What is that moment that you go from, oh, I'm feeling so great, la la la, life is wonderful, spinning plates, and then, oh my God, the plates are falling, and I forgot to call them back, and I got to pay my bills, and this isn't working. What is that moment? Because that's the moment you lost your power. That's the moment you lost sight of your power. You still have the power. You just lost sight of it. So how do you get it back? Just take a breath. Take a moment. Focus. Foci is an actual word. What would you like to do in the next... And if you're watching this in a replay on YouTube or on Facebook, and we are not in a YOD, and we are not in an 8-8 portal, the question still remains. A lot of this information is evergreen. It goes on forever because you go on forever. So at some point, you're going to get frustrated. At some point, you're going to go, At some point, you're going to see me dressed up, and it's going to look like Christmas in the background, but it's the middle of summer for you. And you're thinking, yeah, I am missing something. I missed a step. What do I do now? I'll tell you what you do. You get as present as possible. You breathe in as many moments as possible. And you start to move that energy out of crappy toward happy. Okay? And so as you do that, you start to create a vibration, and that vibration alters what you will attract next. You are the power that brings it to you. You create the bridge. Bridge. I need a bridge. I think that was, who was that? Oh my gosh, I just went totally blank. That's a rock band. Who was it? Whole Lot of Love, Going California. Help me. I had an old moment. Christine loves working with the runes. Fantastic. Let's pull a rune today, Christine. Thank you for saying that. My desk is so far away. All right, I got to move this. Come into frame, going out of frame. Hello, I must be going. All right, let's pull a rune for everyone. Is this making sense? That you can use this energy, you can get all powered up with no place to go. Now what? Stay there. Get dressed up. Thank you, Led Zeppelin. Thank you. Whole lot of love. Okay. Oh, this one just jumped right into my fingers. We're pulling the runes. Thank you, Led Zeppelin. Now I have Led Zeppelin in my head. Please go away. Please go away. I don't want Led Zeppelin in my head. Lagos. That's what kind of language, right? Sometimes I say things and I go, is that a real word? What page are we on so I can read this to you? 119, Lagos. Flow, water, and that which conducts. Lagos. And you know what? Let me just take this YOD, the YOD. There we go. I have a new background. Do you like it? It's my expansive room. Springtime is in the air. Unseen powers are active here, powers that nourish, shape, and connect. Need I say more? Drop the mic. That's the rune. Right there. You see? Lagos fulfills your desire to immerse yourself in the experience of living without having to evaluate or understand. Be in the moment. Be in the moment. It speaks to the satisfaction of emotional needs, to the awakening of the intuitive or lunar side of your nature. For while the sun strives for differentiation, that's a very long word, the moon draws us toward union and merging. Okay, a deep cleaning, realigning all the re's. Re-immersion into the what is the thing that I love, realigning with I've been out of sync. Okay, so the retrogrades and Jupiter, Pluto, and Saturn, but Jupiter and Pluto as they apply to the YOD, have so much to say about your power and what you're going to do with it. Once you find it, what will you do with it? Amy says, yes, and pertains to my life right now. Thanks for the good advice. You're welcome. Bienvenue. So I think it's time that the very next moment, after you listen to this, the very next moment that you move into a place of, I don't know, what am I supposed to do? What do I do now? Don't wait for the thing outside of you to dictate that, but take action on it by saying, there is space in front of me and I'm going to fill it with something fun. What do I want to do for the next 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes? What would I like to do? I haven't heard that song since 1972, whatever. Put on some music, or turn off the TV, or find a show, or read a book, or garden, or cook something, or get on the phone and call someone that you haven't spoken to in years and remind them how much they have empowered you. I started thinking about, and the thought came to me yesterday when I said to Dean, oh, did I ever tell you the story? It's about a story about Agnes. And he was like, who's Agnes? And I was like, I can't believe I never told you this. I must have, didn't I? Agnes was a trance channel that I met in New Jersey who lived not too far from me. And I dreamed about her before I met her. And so I went to a warehouse for Ecobella makeup. This was back in 1980. I don't know. 1980, I don't know. 7, 6, something like that. And I went to get my makeup. And the woman standing at this little tiny desk, and I mean it was a little tiny desk, and the warehouse was right behind her. And I told her what I wanted, the kind of face makeup I wanted. And she was like, okay, let me get it. And then she just looked at me. She was like, you're having a spiritual opening, aren't you? And I was like, apparently, if you can see it. And she wrote down, scribbled somebody's name. She goes, you got to call her. She's great. You'll love her. I was like, okay. So I took the makeup and I put the thing back on my desk, her phone number, Agnes. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to just cold call somebody, I don't know. So then life progressed for the next 6 months. And boy, did I have an opening. Big time. And I was seeing things flying. Things were flying. I was feeling things. And I was living by myself at the time. And I thought, okay, wow, I need a little assistance. So there her number was, Agnes. And I dialed it. And right before, actually, like a week before, I had a dream about this woman who was a little middle-aged, kind of, maybe, short red hair. And I called and I said, hi, I got your number from so-and-so at the warehouse. And she said, I should call you. This was 6 months ago, but I'm calling now. And yeah, and there it is. I don't know what else to say. And she said, well, why don't you tell me what's happening? And I said, well, first of all, I had this dream, blah, 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 blah. And I just started talking. And she said, well, you described me perfectly. And I live just 2 towns over from you. I was like, oh. She said, why don't you come to my house? And I will, I'm going to test you on this. And I was like, test? I don't like tests. She goes, no, it's not really a test. I will just evaluate your experience. So I sat in this little room with her. She had a list of questions. And she said, go ahead. Let's do some trance channeling. And I was like, is that what I'm doing? And she said, yes. Just close your eyes. I'm going to ask you some questions and I'm looking for feedback on this information. I was like, okay. And I wasn't doing that as a business at the time, at the age 26. I started astrology way before that, but I wasn't doing trance channeling. So then I opened the portal and she's asking me questions and I started answering and she came across one question. She said, oh, she mentioned a name and I said, junior or senior? And she laughed. And then she clarified. And then it was over. And then I opened my eyes and I was, like, wow, that was weird, but that's what's been happening to me. And she said, well, you were very accurate. So yeah, you're a trance channel. You're tuned in. Don't be afraid of it. Here's blah, blah, blah. And she gave me that information. And Dean said, oh my gosh, that's amazing. She was pivotal. I said, huge. She said, where is she now? He said, where is she now? And I said, I think she's in Colorado. So I looked her up. I'm good at research. And I found her. She's 82 years old. And I'm going to call her today. She may not remember me. She may. And I'm going to say thank you. So when you're looking to do something in your life, I want you to go back first. Because remember, the retrograde planets represent something hidden behind something back there. And it can be part of your bloodline. It can be part of who you think you were or what you can't be or what you were told. And you abide by those rules and the little box that it put you in. You know, people say, think outside the box. There are no boxes, except the ones that I have in my house because I like to collect little boxes just so I can open them and prove my point that there are no boxes. We are container people, me and Dean. Dean and I love containers. Deanna Thomas, oh, we must talk about this is PM. I have a story to tell you. So I think that if you can get very present with who you are, and as you're working toward the thing that you want to create, even though there might be a delay this week, it's for good purpose. And that is so that you can turn around, look inside and say, where do I feel resistant, scared, upset, doubtful? Because that vibration needs to be swept away and cleared out. It needs to move. That needs to move. Because as you move forward, you're going to take that stuff with you, right? You don't want delays. Sometimes they're very necessary and very helpful. But when you're, jump-starting a project or a program or an activity that is near and dear to you, or it's part of your contribution to the world, and don't think that your contribution is not big, because whatever you put into this world, I'm feeling it. So forget your troubles. Come on, let's move from crappy to happy.com. I want crappy to happy. Your story gave me goosebumps. Thank you for sharing. You're so welcome. And so it is not, now some 40 whatever years later, I do not doubt the information that comes through me for myself or for another person. There is no doubt, and that's why it flows. So if you're in the flow of whatever you're doing, whatever your joy is, if you're in the flow, that's the best place to be. Because then it takes you where you need to go instead of you having to fight for it, work for it. It's a struggle to get there. It's so hard. I can't do it. Okay, got it? All right, we're going to talk more about this on Thursday. Please come back. Please comment, like, share if you're in YouTube or Facebook. Pass it on. Let other people know that it's possible. All right? Are we good? We're good. Thank you again for being here. Thank you for putting your vibe into the world. Okay? Be sparkly, and I'll see you on Thursday.